Hello, all you hardcores out there. How you doing? It's Russ here from Poker's Corner, the biggest go in sport. We say the things on here that nobody dare say. Isn't that right? Puppy Parsons, the Gad, Simon Jordan, Eddie Hills, Coogan, all you lot. All you people that have been pulling wool over our eyes for years. Well, not Puppy Parsons, but the rest of them. You've been pulling wool over our eyes years, and like I told you all this week, last Monday, what did I say? I said Anthony Joshua will fight Joe Joyce at the O2 in March, right? And everybody said, "Why are you saying that? You're an Anthony Joshua hater." Now, if you look at some of the comments on my channel and some of the abuse that I've got for speaking out about Anthony Joshua, it's unbelievable. But all you've got to do is look at the facts. Very simple facts. All you experts on here, you all think you know boxing, don't you? Simple, really. Who has Anthony Joshua fought in their prime? Who is his best win? Who? You know what I mean? So, forgive me if I'm chonged out my mind tonight. If I've downed a few or been, if I've been climbing lampposts or whatever. In another couple of hours, I'll begin at that. Fucking window. It's on top. They're coming for me. But listen, I'm going to bask in the glory. Terry Chappendama. Joshua's going to win. Listen, Joshua's last 4 fights. Franklin, the big stiff. Robert Elenius. Jesus. His former sparring partner. Otto Wallin, former sparring partner. Ngannou, a man in his second fight. How can that be? And then he fought Daniel Dubois, another former sparring partner. Look, he's 35 next month. When Ali won the title back when they were 32 against Foreman, it was seen as an incredible performance, for a guy going past 30. Now, that'd be classed as the peak, wouldn't it? I mean, Ali, when he won it back at 32, everybody said it were amazing. Fraser Clark's had an handful of fights at that age. You know what I mean? You see where or a couple of handfuls of fights at that age. See where I'm coming from? Now, a young lion like Daniel Dubois against Joshua was basically an old lion, isn't he? Now, they said there were 5 knockdowns tonight, but technically there were 6, weren't there, really? Right? Marcus McDonald let him off with one. The point I want to make is if you had that up with the Vladimir one and the Ruiz ones, right, that's 12 knockdowns in his career. Tyson Fury's been knocked down 8 times, or he's had 8 counts. So that, to me, is a fight that can never happen now. We've got men there with 20 counts they've had between them as pros, or is it 19, 20? Whatever it is, it's not good, is it? How could they sell that fight now? It's gone. So Joshua's going to have to rebuild, but why would he take that fight against Dubois again? He'll take it for money. That's what they do, these people. They don't care for boxing fans. They care for money. Joshua's about money. All right? That's all it is. If he can get another bite at the heavyweight championship of the world against Daniel Dubois, he's going to take it, isn't he? But what happened to Ben Davidson? Man of the moment. He's with Ben Davidson now. Lee Wiley and Barry Smith, the Ben Davidson Performance Center. Whoa, where were all that? Where were all that? He looked like he was stuck in glue. In fact, it weren't glue. It was stuck in that no more nails. Everything that I stick up in here, everything I glue down, no more nails. Because no more nails means no more nails. I'm a no more nails man. Call that screwing shit to the floor or skirting boards. No more nails is the way forward. and somebody nicked a load of No More Nails and they stuck it under Joshua's size 14 Under Armour boots. And that's why his feet were stuck to the floor. No more nails means no more nails. Big stiff. Two big stiffs going at it, but one prevailed, the young lion. And in about 7 years, when Dubois 34, 35, right, he'll be coming up against Moser Fatame when he's 26, 27. And he'll have the same thing happen to him, what Joshua's happened to him tonight. The same as Ali when he fought Larry Owens. That's just what happens. It's the passing of the torch. But Anthony Joshua, he shouldn't have had that torch, really, should he? We were conned from day one. So all you Anthony Joshua fans out there, tell me who is his best three wins. Who? Vladimir Klitschko in his 42nd year, 18-month on settee after Fury took him to school. In his 69th fight, that's his best win. Who's his second best win? Hey? Alexander Povetkin, a former regular champion, 39-year-old. Who's his third best win? Undefeated stinkinator Joseph Parker. That's it. That is it. He never fought Fury when he was undefeated. He never fought Wilder when he was undefeated. And he didn't fight Joe Joyce when he was undefeated. Now, he'll have to fight Joe Joyce next if they don't get Dubois. I doubt Dubois. I'll give him that rematch, unless he exercises it. Dubois got caught, didn't he, at 5th round at end, and then he upped his game, didn't he? Technically, Joshua landed 2 punches all night, and that was at 5th round. That was his last hoorah. He wasn't fit. He wasn't fit. He walked into that ring like he were going to the gallows. That's what happened. Everybody knew it. Up against a young lion. When have we ever seen him beat a young lion? Who, what last young lion he beat? Who? And Dubois was a paper champion and got a WB regular gifted to him, and he got the IBF by email. Gifted, paper champion, but there were enough about him to see off Joshua. A busted flush. Everybody knew he were a busted flush, but they weren't talking about it. They were bigging the fight up. Eddie Hills knew. Eddie Hills knew. You know, he's out at game now. He's out at game. Bricktop's got Fury fighting Usyk to try and get back in mix, and he's got the bar there. Do you know what I mean? But for me, Joshua's finished, but he's still got a rematch clause with Dubois. How can that be? How can he have a rematch clause, and how can he come out second? How can the challenger, and technically on paper, even though we know what it were, don't we? Technically on paper, he came out second, Joshua, and he's got a rematch clause after getting flogged like that. He was doing handstands on his head at the end. Do you see what he was doing? He was trying to do a break dance at the end. He was doing headstands or something. Listen, either way, this is how I look at it, right? It's finished. People saying to me in comment section tomorrow, they'll say, oh, okay, you're kicking a man while he's down. Kicking a man while he's down. This guy has been the bane of my existence ever since he fluked that Olympic gold medal. I've been telling you about him. Oh, so now I'm going to bask tonight. Oh, yeah. The chinos all ready. I'm going to finish the lot off. I'm going to polish that bottle of what I've got over there, a brandy. I'm going to get out my brains. But let me just say this. We've been sold a fraud. That's what we've been sold. If he beat Dubois tonight, they were going to say he's a 3-time world champion like Ali, but it was by default, wasn't it really? They bought him that belt. That was Tyson Fury's IBF belt that they got in 2016. It was by hook or crook they got him it. The Vladimir WBA and IBO belts were vacant, right? Louis Sotos should have had that WBA. They were vacant, and they got the Parker one, the WBO. that were Fury. They were all Fury's belts. All of them were Fury's belts. He never went for WBC belt. Nah, he didn't want to go for that one, did he? Well, we know why, don't we? Because Wilder had it. They didn't want to put him near the puncher. Do you know why? Because he's weak around the beard. He's got a weak chin. He's got a chandelier chin, glass jaw. Well, 19, 20 times on floor. What's that tell you? Glass jaw. Dylan White dropped him in amateurs. Glass jaw. Dubois, Lawrence Okoli, David Price all knocked him about at EIS. Do you know what I mean? David Price put him on button moon. Do you know what I mean? Glass jaw. So they've had to protect that glass jaw, haven't they? You know what I mean? He's had loads of trainers and he knows best, doesn't he? Now, Ben Davidson, man of the moment, he couldn't have knocked with him, could he? What's he done? That was probably his worst ever performance. But Ben Davidson knew what he had. And he knew Joshua a busted flush, but they're not going to send out because they all want to get paid. That's the name of the game, getting paid. Nobody's actually sat him down and said, listen, son, you're finished. Nobody's done that, have they? You're finished, son. End of. But they're going to wrap him up and repackage him, and you're going to get Eddie Hills. He's going to call all his little lickers together, and they're all going to G him up on YouTube, and they're going to go again for another run. They're probably going to call for a rematch because it's like going for a world title in it, and any punch and they can win it, can't they? So they're gonna activate that rematch clause in the next 48 hours. If they don't, it'll be Joshua versus Joe Joyce in March. Two busted flushers going at it. Two old men. That's what it'll be. Joshua, by that stage, will be in his 36th year. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Joyce will be 40, won't he? Or in his 40th year. Two old men that should have fought when they were undefeated, but we're not going to get that with these, are they? Are we? But Eddie will look at it like, we're going to go for Dubois again. It's a world title fight. It's good money. And let's hope we get a lucky punch. So they'll go for rematch. They'll activate the rematch clause. That's what they'll do. And it'll be quick as. And they'll try and get Joshua wheeled out again. And they'll tell us he's stronger, faster, quicker than a speeding bullet. And he's even eating kangaroo meat now. Pop, pop, poppity pop, bang. That's what they're going to tell us, but I ain't going to fall for that, Shino. Not me, not Porky Boy. I won't fall for that. Big shout out to Carl Froch for giving me a shout out on your channel. Carl, what did you say to me 2 weeks ago? Yeah, I'll come on your channel or you can come on mine. Well, I'm still waiting, Carl. So come on. Fans, get stuck into it, Cobra and I. Can't be saying that to me in a text message and then cocking off. Come on, let me come on your channel, Carl, or you come on here. Let's stick to our word. I know you'll be on a high tonight because the big stiff's been put away, but the big stiff will probably activate that rematch clause. That's what they're doing because it's about money. Boxing's a business masquerading as a sport. You've seen it tonight, haven't you? You've seen Dylan White and Derek Chisora, yeah, talking with that turkey about a trilogy. Who want to see that? Who want to see Dylan White and Del Boy Chisora in a trilogy? Come on, do we want to see that? I'd like to see Willie Hutchinson fight Boatsi again, but no way that was a split decision. No way. Willie Hutchinson, for me, lost by unanimous decision. But let me say this, he was a bit fleshy, and I think he was a bit unfit. But Willie Hutchinson, I like him. He's got heart, he's tough. And if he were fit, I think that fight would have been a different fight. I just don't think he was as fit as Boatsi. So Willie Hutchinson, get your son back to flex and get fit and go again. I'm team Willie Hutchinson. I like what I saw tonight. Josh Warrington, I told you all he was a shot fighter. They all went, oh, Porky, you're a hater, you're a hater. Shot fighter at a weight that you can't be at that age. I'm a stats man, me. I looked at Joshua, I looked at his statistics, I looked at Josh Warrington's statistics. Old men been knocked about. That's the bottom line. But we're not allowed to say that, are we? We're not allowed to say anything, are we? Because your class is a hater. Josh Warrington got rid of most of his team. They tried to do it on cheap with sparring and this and that and blah, blah, blah. what his old man knows about boxing, you could write on the back of a stamp. All right. I don't know why his old man were laughing and joking, and they must have thought, oh, we're gonna get a touch here. Way off pace, way off pace. Beaten comprehensively. Absolutely beaten comprehensively. But hey ho, what can you do? What can you do? It's one of them things, isn't it? It's a tough old game, isn't it? It's a tough old game. But when Joshua came out to what's going on here with screen here? When Joshua came out to ring, he had his Elvis dressing gown on, didn't he? With all sequins on it. What were all that about? Why did we have the Saudi national anthem first? What was that? Hey, why did we have to listen to that? Rubbish. I don't agree with that. It was more like wrestling, wasn't it, at the beginning? You know, entrances and that. That's not for me. That I don't want to see that Saudi carry on at the beginning. I don't want to see that. Why is their song in our country right being played? Why? Why is that? Is that me being racist? Am I being racist? That's better. Am I being racist saying that? Two British guys fighting each other, yeah? And we've got the Saudi national anthem being played. And then promoters from UK, well, promoters, they're agents now, aren't they? They allowed that. Do you know why? Because the brasses. They are brasses. Absolute brasses. Would that have happened in America? Would them patriots in America allow that? If I were that promoter tonight, I wouldn't have allowed that. But nobody will want to talk about it in industry, will they? Will any of these YouTubers be putting it on Bricktop and Eddie Hill saying, here, great fight, Joshua Dubois, but what was that at the beginning with Saudi national anthem? Why? There were no Saudis fighting, were there? Yeah, they put the money up, but come on. What was all that about? What? Am I being harsh here? 54-year-old saying that, right? Because I've had a good night tonight. Am I being harsh? Maybe. But I don't want to see that at all. I want to see British national anthem at least played first. That's what I want to see. But they've got a pander to him, haven't they? Triple T. Man with a tea towel on his head because he's paying the dollars. Do you know what I mean? All the liquors were there, weren't they? Did we see Tommy Fury in crowd and Big John Fury there on his best behaviour? All there wanting a few crumbs, weren't they? Hey. Did we see Big Malk, aka Spencer Fearing, after all trouble he caused, eh? Don Charles were in corner, wasn't he? Eh? What did I tell you? Don Charles was in the corner, eh? Big Malk, all that trouble Big Malk caused, eh? Naughty, 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 Big Malk. Naughty, naughty. But what can you do? Anthony Kakazi won comfortably against Warrington. But Eddie Hills, you looked slimy tonight, didn't you? Where are you now? Where are you going now? You're on outside looking in. You'll patch Joshua up like Humpty Dumpty. You'll get him on IFL. You'll get him on Puppy Parsons' channel, all rest at Liquors, and you'll go again. You'll probably get another trainer. Ben Davison will be down road. That'll be it. What's he going to do now? Go begging back to Robert McCracken? That boat's gone now. That boat has gone. That's just how it's going, isn't it? For Joshua. But is he bothered? What's he worth? 260 million. I've heard 280. I've heard 260. So he's a multi-fly swimming in chocha. He's not bothered, is he? But like I've said before, and I'll say it again, who's his best 3 wins? Vladimir. These at World Champions is beat Charlie Martin, paper champion. Joseph Parker, paper champion. Vladimir, in his 42nd year, coming back after an 18-month out on the settee, 69th fight. Povetkin, former regular champion in his 39th year. And Andy Ruiz, who beat him first. They're the 5 champions that he's beat. That's it. That's the Anthony Joshua CV. All roads lead to undisputed. He never had an undisputed fight. Never. Never. We have to put up with that. Eh? I had a shave tonight. I'm in bed. I've got my jimmies on, but look, it is what it is, isn't it? We know what's gone on, don't we? Right? We know what's gone on. It's the Anthony Joshua delusion, the con job, eh? Con job, Ponzi scheme. Call it what you want. I called it. I told you all. Right? They were a fraud, and they were patching him up. Umpty Dumpty. They stuck him together again, didn't they? With Bostic and paper mache. A prime David A against a prime Anthony Joshua. Joshua goes to bottom moon. Boxing's all about timing. He went out to that ring tonight against a young lion, and everybody in the boxing industry looked at him and said, "He's finished." He was done before he got in the ring up against a 27-year-old. You know what I mean? But like Carl Froch going up against undefeated George Groves, who went on to win a world title, who done De Gale an Olympic gold, who went on to win a world championship, who were a two-time champion, winning De Gale. Point I want to make is this: Joshua, he never had it to start with. He looked the part, didn't he? He had a big machine around him, a PR machine, and his promoter did well for him, went into bat for him, but let's have it right. We know what happened, don't we? Eh? There's been all sorts of cover-ups with him. He's had it all his own way. He's a bully, absolute bully. He had a great story, and they milked it to death. And they conned all the public, and that's what they've done at Matchroom for years. They've conned the public. And you all fell for it, didn't you? All of you. I didn't. I saw through them for what they were down there at Essex. I saw through them. They don't invest in fighters. They don't even win purse bids, do you, Eddie? You don't. They manipulate everybody. They manipulated the media to such an extent that they're all hanging out the back of them. Yeah, they're not asking proper questions, these YouTubers. They just want a bit of access and a bit of reflected glory. That's all it is. That's all it is. You know, and now they're going to try and sell us Dylan White against Delboy. Dylan White hasn't fought in UK for 2 years in the next couple of months. 2 years. You know what I mean? He's just serving a silent ban. We're not going to get to know, but he's had 4 or 5 drug issues now, hasn't he? Nobody wants to talk about it, do they? Not one YouTuber put it on him tonight, did they? Dylan is serving a silent ban. Did any of them ask him? No. Dylan is serving a silent ban at UK. Conor Ben were there. Did anybody ask him? Well, go on YouTube, you'll see his interviews and that, both of them's. Nobody's asked them. Nobody's asked them anything. Hey? Nobody asked them anything whatsoever. I've seen one media outlet ask Tyson Fury about his drug issues. He got shut down, didn't he? That's what happens. Boxing's a closed shop if you want to ask tough questions. But Bricktop called it, didn't he? He knew what was going to happen with Joshua. Eddie Hills really knew, didn't he? We just wanted to get a payday. That's why they got 2 bites at the cherry. Who want to see that fight again? It was a conclusive finish, wasn't it? Like when Froch did Butte, Eddie Hills were like, who wants to see that again in Canada? Butte had a rematch clause. Eddie were like, well, it don't need a rematch, does it really? Don't need a rematch. And it didn't, did it? Because Carl knocked him, didn't he? Conclusively. And that's what happened tonight. But he'll get a rematch, won't he? Because he's got it wrote down. Ruiz done it first time conclusively. We went forward it 5, 6 times over, 4, 5, 6 times. Conclusive win. But he had to rematch him. Joshua weren't even the champion, but yet he's got a rematch clause. Why is that? Because he's big business, isn't he? Anthony Joshua's big business. He puts bums on seats. So you're going to see a rematch and he'll get beat again against Dubois. Then they'll go for Joe Joyce. They'll sell out the O2 then with that. And they'll keep churning Joshua out and keep churning him out and churning him out until his brains are scrambled. Oh, yeah. And you know what? He'll probably get hurt in the end. Touch what he done. Get hurt because we don't want to see a body on slab. But promoters don't care for Anthony Joshua. They care for pound notes. That's what they care for. Pound notes. They don't care for anything except money. The kid got knocked about tonight. And they get knocked about again. But maybe that tonight might knock some sense into him. And he might realise that, do you know what? I might be debt for you. He came to boxing late in his teenage years, didn't he? and he's done well. He was probably a natural athlete anyway. Do you know what I mean? When you're doing 100 meters in 11 seconds, you're a natural athlete, aren't you? You know, he probably could have been a rugby player or a sprinter, you know, maybe a footballer at a low level league or something. I don't know, championship or something, or Division One. He probably could have turned his hand to anything because he's athletic, isn't he? You know, he looks the part, doesn't he? But they capitalised on it and they pulled the wool over all the fans' eyes for years. Gifted that Olympic gold medal. Go look at the Olympics. Go look at them 4 fights. He only beat Zhang. The others were, he got beaten all of them. But it is what it is, isn't it? So the bubbles burst, but he's got a rematch clause. So I'll get beating that. And how are they going to give us the Fury fight? They're still going to talk about Joshua Fury and when they're 60. Yeah, they'll keep digging that one out for us for years to come. But they will activate that rematch clause. There'll be a new training team behind him, and they'll wheel Eddie out, and then we'll all be bored of it. But come on, that don't need to be seen again, does it? It was conclusive, wasn't it? The guy's shot. They're going to put him in with the bar again. He could get hurt, you know. He could get hurt against the bar. Does he need a new training team? I don't know, but every trainer that he goes to, there's problems, isn't there? You know, he's gelling great with Derek James. He's gelling great with Robert Garcia. He's gelling great with Joey Clayton and Angel Hernandez. You know, he's gelling great with Ben Davison, Lee Wiley, and Barry Smith. Well, he ain't gelling great, is he? What? Because he beat Ungano, a guy in his second fight. Otto Walling was shot to bits. His former sparring partner, Elenius, an old man pushing 38, former sparring partner. Joshua had done 500 rounds with Elenius, and Otto Walling never lost a round. Franklin were a bum, American bum, cheeseburger eating bum. You know, this is what we're up against, but they'll keep wheeling Joshua out into his 40s. He'll get to about 38, 40. Then they'll switch him over to MMA and they'll just rinse what they can out of him, earns. That's what they do. So, am I glad Anthony Joshua got beat? Yes, I'm glad. Why is that? Because they've been frauding fans for years, but there'll be YouTubers who are not going to say that, and people around Eddie Hills that won't say that. But I'm glad he got beat. So, Joshua fans and Joshua, Eddie Hills, if you're listening, I don't care if you're not. I'm glad you got beat because you're a fraud. All right. I know that's harsh, but I'm a harsh person anyway. Very, very harsh. I'm harsh on myself. I'm my harshest critic. But I'm glad you got done, you big stiff. All right. Been conning fans years. That's about it, really. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. All right. That's about it. So I look forward to going on the Cobra's channel. Or you can come on here. I'm not really bothered. He tells it straight. So that's that. So it is what it is. So don't forget to like and subscribe and join Porky's International, my other channel, which we cover other sports. All right. Time to put some music on now and party. Big Stiff. Ta-ta, Big Stiff. Button Moon. Peace out.